All right, let's talk about the future of Python. The whole world of development is moving at light speed, and believe me, the tools we're going to be using in 2026 are going to look way different. So today, we're cutting through all the noise, all the hype, to give you a guided tour of the 12 libraries that are seriously set to change the game. Ready to get a sneak peek? Let's do this. So if you're a Python dev, you know this feeling, right? The ecosystem is just blowing up. It feels like every single week there's a new must-have library that pops up on your feed. It is a genuine challenge to figure out what's just a flash in the pan and which tools are actually going to change how you code. Well, that's exactly the problem we're going to solve today. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to touch on why it's so tough to keep up. Then we'll dive right into the three biggest trends I'm seeing: the next wave of data tools, the absolute explosion in AI agents, and a total revolution in our daily dev workflows. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about what this means for you and what you can build next. Okay, let's set the stage. This constant churn in the Python world, it's not just a challenge, it's actually a massive opportunity for all of us to build apps that are faster, smarter, and way more powerful than we ever could before. You can think of what we're doing here as your personal cheat sheet. We've waded through all the noise for you to find the libraries that are solving real, painful problems. These aren't just trendy. These are the tools that are unlocking completely new ways to work. All right, let's kick things off with our first big category: next-generation data tools. The core idea here is simple. The old ways we used to handle data are starting to hit a wall. The scale, the speed, the sheer complexity of it all, it just demands a new toolkit. Look, we all love pandas, don't get me wrong, but let's be honest, there are times when it just can't keep up. When you're trying to wrangle absolutely massive data sets, or you're swimming in messy, unstructured text, or, and this is a big one, you can't even touch production data because of privacy rules, well, that's when pandas starts to creak. The libraries we're about to see are built for exactly these moments. And this slide really shows two sides of the same data coin. On the one hand, you've got Polars, an absolute beast with over 37,000 stars on GitHub. It's built in Rust, and it uses every single core on your machine to just tear through huge data sets. But what if your problem isn't speed? It's access. That's where mostly AI comes in. It's such a clever idea. It creates a synthetic, fake data set that is statistically identical to your real sensitive data, so you can build and test without ever worrying about a privacy breach. We've all been there, right? You're staring at a huge pile of PDFs or reports or web pages, and you just know there's valuable information locked inside, but getting it out is a nightmare. Well, Lang Extract is your solution. It uses large language models to act like a super smart intern that reads through all that mess and pulls out the clean, structured data you actually need. And this is where things get really cool, because data isn't just text anymore, is it? It's images, it's charts buried inside PDFs, it's even video clips. Morphic Core is built for this new multimodal world. It lets you take all these complex files and turn them from these, opaque blobs into assets that are fully searchable and ready for analysis. Okay, time to shift gears into our second major theme, and trust me, this is a big one: the AI agent revolution. We're talking about AI graduating from being just a simple tool to becoming a genuine collaborator, a co-developer on your team. Up until now, AI in coding has mostly been about little suggestions, right? Auto-completing a line of code, maybe generating a quick function. We are now stepping into a totally new era, what people are calling agentic AI. These aren't just systems that suggest things, these are systems that do things. You give them a high-level goal, and they figure out the plan. They write the code, and they execute the whole task from start to finish. And leading this charge is something like GPT Pilot. With nearly 34,000 stars, this is so much more than a code snippet generator. This is about having an AI companion that you can literally assign a full feature to. It will then go write it, debug its own code, and you can even have a conversation with it about the best architectural approach. It's wild. So if GPT Pilot is like a fully built self-driving car, Small Agents is the high-performance engine inside. It's a framework from Hugging Face that gives you all the building blocks to create your own custom agents. The key things here are flexibility and safety. You can easily swap in different AI models, and you can make sure that when your agent runs code, it does it in a secure sandbox like Docker. This is the toolkit for building really serious, complex AI systems. The most important phrase here is production grade. The biggest problem with generative AI is that it can be, unpredictable. Pydantic AI tackles this head-on by bringing the rock-solid data validation of Pydantic into the AI world. It's like putting guardrails on your AI. You can guarantee that the output is always structured, always validated, and always exactly what your app is expecting. This is how you build AI you can actually ship. This is another awesome example of an AI agent at work. Data Formulator basically lets you have a conversation with your data. So instead of writing a bunch of complex code to make a chart, you just say what you want in plain English. Something like, hey, show me how sales of this product have been trending for the last year. The AI agent then does all the heavy lifting and generates the perfect visualization to answer your question. It's like having a data scientist on call 24/7. Okay, let's move on to our final section, which is all about how these ideas come together to create smarter dev workflows. This category is all about the tools that make the entire process of building software faster and more reliable. As every single developer knows, writing the actual lines of code is just one part of the job. There's also documentation, testing, code reviews, and now this new skill of prompt engineering. The tools we're about to look at are all about automating and accelerating those crucial, but let's face it, often tedious parts of the job so you can get back to focusing on the creative stuff. Just look at that number, 86,000 stars. That's not a typo. That number alone tells you what a massive, universal headache this library solves. Anyone who's ever tried to feed a PDF or a Word doc to a language model knows the pain. The formatting gets completely mangled. Markdown is like a magic wand that takes all that mess and turns it into clean, perfect Markdown that an LLM can actually understand. It's a total game changer. Okay, this one's a little more under the hood, but it's incredibly important. Imagine you're building a big system with lots of different AI models and services that all need to talk to each other. FastMCP creates a standardized high-speed highway for them to communicate. It simplifies all the connections and makes sure data gets transformed correctly as it moves around. Basically, it's the professional-grade plumbing for modern AI applications. You know, in any big project, catching bugs early is the whole game. PyFly is a super powerful tool that acts like an extra set of expert eyes on your code. It's a static analyzer that finds potential errors and enforces your type hints before you even run the code. And the fact that it integrates so well with Pydantic makes it an absolute must-have for building really solid, reliable Python apps. If you work with language models, you know the prompt is everything. But finding the perfect prompt often feels like pure guesswork. ChainForge is a tool that turns that art into a science. It's a visual environment that lets you rigorously test and compare different prompts against different models and actually see the results side by side. This is how you stop hoping for a good response and start engineering one. So after that whirlwind tour of 12 amazing libraries, let's just take a step back for a second and think about what this all means. What are the big picture trends that all these tools are pointing to? When you boil it all down, I think there are three huge takeaways. First, AI is not just a tool anymore, it is becoming a true co-pilot, a partner in the creative process. Second, the days of one-size-fits-all data tools are over. We need specialized libraries for the massive scale and complexity of modern data. And third, efficiency is king. Automating the grunt work is no longer a luxury, it's essential. And all of this leads us to one final and I think really exciting question. With tools that can analyze terabytes of messy data, with AI agents that can literally write their own code, and with workflows that automate away all the tedious stuff, what new developer superpower do you now have? What can you build today that was completely impossible just a year ago? The future is already here. Go build it. Thanks for watching.